UFC lightweight champion Islam Makhachev is preparing for the 4th defense of his title as he faces Arman Tsarukyan in the main event of UFC 311 on January 18th in Los Angeles. This rematch follows their April 2019 encounter, where Makhachev won in a razor-close fight by unanimous decision. At the time, Tsarukyan made his UFC debut on short notice, but despite the loss, he proved to be a formidable opponent, keeping the fight competitive. Since then, Arman has improved significantly, winning 9 of his last 10 bouts and earning the chance to avenge his defeat. Makhachev has acknowledged Arman's evolution since their first fight, noting that while he has gained more experience, his skills remain largely unchanged. Islam pointed out that Arman has dominated opponents who lack strong wrestling, but when faced with someone who excels in that area, such as Makhachev himself or Mateusz Gamrot, Arman struggles. Tsarukyan's only other loss came against Gamrot in a thrilling 5-round battle in 2022, which many considered one of the best fights of the year. Despite the defeat, Arman's reputation remained intact as he went on to defeat top contenders like Charles Oliveira and Beneil Dariush, extending his win streak to 4. Though Arman is often regarded as one of Islam's toughest UFC opponents, Islam disagrees, citing his UFC 284 clash with former featherweight champion Alexander Volkanovski as the most challenging fight of his career. Makhachev acknowledged that while Tsarukyan was a tough fight, the intensity of his battle with Volk surpassed it, with Makhachev experiencing a heart rate over 200 during that fight. He also admitted that he may have underestimated Arman the first time around due to the short notice nature of the fight and his lack of recognition at the time. Islam mentioned that since then he has studied Tsarukyan's fights closely. He highlighted moments in Arman's bout with Oliveira where the Brazilian almost finished him with submissions like guillotines and triangle chokes. Makhachev is confident that if he sees similar openings in the rematch, he will be able to capitalize and secure a finish. Khabib Nurmagomedov says Merab Dvalisvhili cannot deal with life as a UFC champion. Khabib is setting his sights on guiding a key member of his team, Umar Nurmagomedov, to a title win at the expense of Merab Dvalisvhili next month. Merab is set for his first bantamweight title defense since claiming the gold in September, when he defeated Sean O'Malley at the Sphere. To solidify his hold on the crown, Dvalishvili must face undefeated contender Umar. Merab had previously downplayed Umar's title aspirations, dismissing him as unworthy of the opportunity despite Umar's impressive 5-round victory over Corey Sandhagen. However, the UFC decision maker saw things differently, scheduling the bout for UFC 311 on January 18th. As the fight draws closer, Merab's frustration continues to grow, with his anger evident at the recent press conference in Las Vegas. Khabib, in an interview shared by Red Corner MMA on Instagram, reflected on Merab's ongoing anger over Umar being given the title shot. Khabib questioned whether Dvalishvili was truly ready for the pressure that comes with being champion. He noted that while Merab started his career on a positive note, he struggled to handle the transition to champion. He then pointed out that there are 2 different lives for a fighter before and after becoming a champion, emphasizing the need to handle the changes that come with it. In response to claims that Umar's title shot was a favor due to their family connection, Khabib made it clear that Umar earned his place. He highlighted Umar's undefeated record of 18-0 in MMA and 6-0 in the UFC, stating that his presence in the title picture is a result of his achievements, not his family ties. Khabib further asserted that Umar is focused on building his own legacy, and come January 18th, he will demonstrate exactly why Merab Dvalishvili is feeling nervous. Ilia Topuria humbles Alex Pereira in the gym. Earlier this week, Russian MMA reporter Usha Teika held an interview with a Dagestani MMA coach, Gasanali Gasanaliev, who works at one of the biggest gyms in Dagestan. Coach revealed that he has shared gym sessions with the UFC featherweight champ Ilia Topuria. The coach revealed that when Ilia visited their gym, he surprised everyone by sparring not only with fellow featherweights, but also with the bigger guys. Quote, "He has very thick, dense bones. His legs, back, and hips are extremely strong. That's why he hits so hard. He generates power for his punch from his strong legs. He lifts massive weights. I've talked about this before, I've seen him do it. He lifts insanely heavy weights, and because of that, he hits hard. I've always said this, if he ever lands one of those punches on someone's head, they'll definitely go to sleep, or at least wobble. I've seen him play around with Pereira, and I could see that Alex was feeling those punches. 100% he can wobble anybody in the world. I can say this with full confidence. If anyone believes his size means he can't hit hard, they're mistaken." El Matador's future is loaded with exciting matchups. A fight with Charles Oliveira at lightweight would be a thrilling clash of styles. Oliveira's elite jiu-jitsu and unorthodox striking against Topuria's knockout power, backed with high-level BJJ. If Ilia can keep it standing, he could end the fight quickly, but Oliveira's submission game is always a threat. Then a battle with the undefeated Movsar Evloev at featherweight would test El Matador's wrestling defense. Topuria is relentless, but Movsar's elite grappling and offensive wrestling could make this a competitive, high-stakes fight. Michael Chandler is interested in fighting Paddy Pimblett. In a recent interview with Lucky Block, Chandler stated, "If Conor doesn't come back in the first half of 2025, I will be fighting someone else. There are other fights that I'm interested in. My legacy is not tied with fighting Conor, and I've still got a lot of tread left on the tires and a lot of big fights to come. I have a lot of respect for Paddy Pimblett. He and I are very cordial, and it's been documented how I congratulated him after beating Tony Ferguson. We have a good relationship, but obviously if we get matched up against each other, the goal is to go out there and inflict bodily harm. Paddy versus myself is gonna happen at some point. I'm not sure when, but that's definitely a fight that interests me. It's definitely a fight that would be fun for the fans. It will definitely happen. That would be absolutely huge," he continued. Chandler believes Conor McGregor's UFC comeback is a 50-50 chance. Despite the possibility that they may never fight in the octagon, Chandler will undoubtedly remain linked to McGregor for the rest of their careers. With McGregor having been away from competition for over 3 years, Iron Mike thinks it's uncertain whether McGregor will return, especially with the recent rumors of a potential fight against Paul. I would put Conor McGregor coming back to the UFC at 50-50 right now. That is my expectation, and you're talking to a guy who had assurances behind the scenes to know that he was going to come back, Chandler said. Belal Muhammad doesn't think Colby Covington has much left in his career following his loss to Buckley at UFC Tampa. "It felt so good just to watch him bleed and suffer," Muhammad told MMA on Sirius XM. "I was just hoping that the doctor would let it go a little bit more, because now you open the door for Colby to make excuses. He's already coming out with excuses, bro. You're literally getting pieced up in every way you can get pieced up. You were losing the grappling, you were losing the striking, you were losing the kickboxing, you even lost the walkout because you ripped your shirt before you even got out there, so you looked stupid doing that. Once people realize he's not what people thought he was, they put him on this pedestal of, oh man, he's the cardio king, he's this, he's that. These new guys now, where we're studying, we're seeing stuff. He's not throwing anything at you to make you worry. He can throw his pity patty freaking punches, and then he takes his stupid shot and pushes to the fence and tries to take you down. But there are better athletes now. There are better guys, smarter guys now that are seeing all this stuff. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for daily MMA news.